Aloha family, welcome back. My name is Marissa Indigo, and I want to welcome you to this beautiful shamanic forest that I am in. I am celebrating the plutonium, the Pluto influence Scorpio right now, and really having a blast with these shamanic codes that have just been pouring through. I wanted to share a really special activation that I received um, in regards to working with Pluto and Scorpio energy. Incredible transformation and resurrection code energy. So first I want to backtrack a little bit. So I am a Taurus. My sun is in Taurus. So Scorpio is opposite me on the astrology chart. And I grew up with a lot of Scorpio in my childhood. And for the longest time, just really didn't care for Scorpion energy because it was too intense for me. And I didn't know how to navigate Pluto. So one thing I always want to offer is to start to shift your perspective of planets and different forces, galactic forces, cosmic influences, from something that takes our power away or makes us feel powerless or like we're being controlled by an external force, and instead shift our perspective to start to look at these as archetypal allies that are forces that are here in our favor. Even if it's uncomfortable, everything is here to help us evolve and shift and change for the better, to really become who we are truly meant to be, who we have always been. And so Pluto and Scorpio are two very powerful allies to work with when we talk about shamanic death and rebirth, dropping the old identity, really starting to go deeper into the darkness within, the shadow within, and bring that light and start to uncover or just address what's always been carried around, just bubbling under the surface in the subconscious. So when we talk about shamanic death or ego death, it's a pretty intense subject because the ego starts to get a sense that it's going to lose control, and we'll find that we could have a lot of resistance in our experience to going into the fear or the discomfort. And I really want to share this activation as I have received it to really kind of turn that whole thought form around in regards to what discomfort means and what fear means, and just share this awesome insight that I received. I have been celebrating what I'm calling the plutonium influence for the last few weeks now, as there's been a lot of activity going on with Pluto at this time of year. But this video is meant to be useful for all who are working through the shamanic death themes of resurrection, death, decay, transforming our story and who we identify ourselves to be, and really starting to have that courage built up inside to go into the places where our ego doesn't want to go. So it becomes this shift of starting to tune into like, oh God, I don't want to go there. Why not? Let's go there anyway. I have a very specific influence in my chart with the moon and Pluto. So there's a part of me that loves to dissect and become this detective, this metaphysical shamanic detective, just parting and sifting and really looking into the marrow of the issues at hand and how to excavate, how to transform the fear or the darkness, whatever labels we want to put on these unintegrated aspects of self, these soul fragments. How can we alchemize this? This is soul alchemy, and transform what is presenting into its true power. This is kind of that lead to gold metaphor, the philosopher's stone, if you will. So I started exploring the fear technology as a technology, if you will, and started to understand from a multidimensional perspective, looking at the geometries and their energetics, because I was asking the universe, asking my soul, why do we run so much from fear? Why do we, many of us, spend our whole lives, decades, running from certain things rather than turning around and facing them? Why does it feel so overpowering and so intimidating and just impossible to defeat, if you will? And the answers that I received back is that fear itself, the energetics of fear, is the ultimate phoenix potential template energy. So fear itself, the energy that we feel around something that we fear, that power of that energy is mirroring the potential on the other side. So fear is a portal to the other side, to other aspects of our divine destiny, to integrating more soul aspects. When I asked, why does fear feel so big and so impossible for all of us, I was shown that on certain levels, this is the shamanic initiation where the illusion presents as so all-encompassing and so real and so tangible that there's no way to the human smaller perspective and smaller identity of self, the micro-human self, which perceives itself to be frail and vulnerable and incapable. It's the whole I can't kind of programs that we get from childhood. The reason that it feels so big is that because the ego is starting to sense a dissolution is coming and it doesn't want to lose control. So then it creates kind of a holodeck experience for us where we are having this whole illusion, virtual reality, which is the perception of fear, and we're living in it. We are inserted in that reality, and it's completely overtaken our senses, our ability to discern and perceive, and we become stuck in the illusion, in the lie, trapped in this virtual reality until we're ready to pull back and see the larger picture and see from multidimensional perspectives. So once the fear starts to sense, the ego starts to sense that it will become dissolved or that it will start to lose influence, it starts to react and respond to our conscious mind, thrashing around in the mind. This starts to show us where we have resistance, which is extremely important to start to become subtly attuned to where do I have resistance? Where does my heart say I'm not sure? And that's where we really want to dive in. So the reason that fear feels so magnanimously big is that on the other side of it is everything we have ever dreamed, wanted, known was really true for us in our heart of hearts. And fear is the way to access it. It's the ultimate test, the ultimate illusion, the ultimate initiation to say, my heart fire, my love, my courage, my self-love is greater than any sense of distortion or any other judgment that I may have towards myself or this situation or this fear, whatever is presenting itself that's challenging our consciousness. Fear is a magnanimous black hole portal. This is a technology that steals our power until we transcend it, until we turn around and face it and go through that portal, through that wormhole, to then receive what is on the other side, which is our truth and our destiny. We have to go through the false to get to the true. So I wanted to share with you all just how deeply passionate I am about shamanic death and rebirth themes. And I want to share this concept. What came through to me last night was shamanic death or ego death doula. A death doula is someone who is present at the transition in serving a holy place as a holy container for the transition of somebody as they are in the dying transition to assist their transition into the other realms. So for years, I had no idea that there was a name, death doula, for this role. I've done that role as a holy person for loved ones and friends and animals in transition quite a few times in my life. For me, it's a holy space of just being and tuning into the soul at that time of transition to see, what is it that they are requiring in order to make a peaceful crossing. So professionally, that title is called a death doula. This is someone who's there to assist in this almost a rebirth process as an individual is transitioning from the physical plane into the heavenly realms and into the etheric. So what came to me last night was this whole notion of stewardship, of assisting other souls in their process, in their journey as a shamanic death or ego death doula. So I'm here to share some really powerful codes with you all. I believe you can all access this within yourselves, just having that courage, and that this is where we kind of come into that light warrior of the heart energetics and archetypes of the knights and holy women, holy men of this process of integrating more and more of our soul shards into ourselves. This is the depth and the magic of shamanic work, which I find extremely juicy. Some of the archetypal codes that have come through in my experience this last week that I'm super eager to share with you all to then endeavor to do this work on your own as we are being invited into the Plutonian influence, which is the Scorpio full moon here in April. Here are some symbols that have come through that I am really excited to share with you all. One of them is the dark mermaid. So I was doing my Amba sacred movement class with my dear friend Serena, and she brought in the mermaid for us to work with the element of water. And how she presented to me was a dark mermaid. She's very beautiful, very powerful, a little intimidating, but ultimately full of love. And she appeared to me and she took me down into the depths of the darkest and the deepest parts of the ocean, which was represented as my subconscious mind and all of the ego programs. And she takes you down into the dark. You can't see anything. It's pitch black. And there's kind of a louder roaring of the ocean. You feel the pressure, you hear it in your ears. So it's almost like a white noise. And the only thing that you can see is her with you, and those different lampreys and those deep sea fish that have like the lantern and kind of the scary barracuda teeth. And it's like visually it's intimidating and you know, a little scary, but when you tune into the energetics, they're all guardians there to support your rebirth process. So if that's an image that is supportive to you right now, just to work with the dark mermaid, you can get into your meditation and sit with her and ask her to come and support you, and she will take you down into the depths to face your fear. What she is here to share, as the Dark Mother is here to share, and Pluto is here to invite us with this Scorpio influence, is to go deep down into the dark, into the parts that are taboo, into the thoughts and beliefs that are maybe shameful to the judgment of the human mind, the human ego perspective, all that makes us uncomfortable that we don't like or don't love or don't normally gravitate towards. This is where the power lies, because these are piece by piece, unintegrated aspects of the ego. So this is how we witness and embrace our shadow and then integrate it to become stronger and more whole than we have ever possibly known. These kinds of shamanic practices will bring you to levels of wholeness and clarity and courage and pure confidence that are just unbelievably empowering and so full of grace and magic. And they will help you to rise onto higher timelines in your life by creating them from the inside. We have to go deep inside to then restructure our own grid architecture to then recreate our reality. So these are very powerful themes to work with. And as you can see, I'm extremely passionate about them. Another great symbol for you guys, if you don't resonate as much with the dark mermaid energy, is the shamanic death and the ego doula. So you could imagine a shaman. You can decide, are they male or are they female? Is it an animal that comes to you? And you could be in a setting kind of like this one where we are here, kind of like twilight in a forest. And you could go down into the cave with this shaman and also do that work of witnessing your fears. The thing to do is to set the intention to witness and work through and transcend and integrate in love and empowerment your fear. And you don't have to go searching for them. All you have to do is create the container of sacred space and find the visual aid that works for you, whether you want to go down into the depths of the water with the dark mermaid, or if you want to be in a cave or you want to be in a forest. Whatever the imagery is that is feeling safe and adventuresome and enticing for your psyche is what you want to work with. And you just set the intention. Once you have your setting and your scenery in your mind and in your experience, set the intention to be met with your fears. And the ones that are most relevant, that are ready for you to transmute, will come. So it's not something that you have to chase at all. They're there and they're waiting for us to work with them and love them and integrate them. So I hope that this has given you guys some great stuff to work with. I think it's really important to start turning around and facing our fears. And remember that acronym, false evidence appearing real, that's what fear stands for, because it's all just tests and illusions. It's all an illusion. And we get to decide what is true. If you need further support with this, I am available for sessions now. This is a new role activation that has been assigned to me by my team of shamanic death or ego death doula to support your process. I feel all of you are more than equipped to do this on your own. But if you find that there are themes that are particularly challenging, or you're noticing a lot of resistance and you need more support and kind of just someone to help hold you through the process and provide you with more accountability or feedback, I'm definitely available for that. It's a super holy role to fulfill, and I love it. I'm super passionate about it. So you're welcome to reach out to me at my email, which I will list below. It's marissaindigo@gmail.com. And with that, I wish you all just the most empowering, incredibly beautiful, blessed full moon in Scorpio. Yes, it is challenging. Yes, there's a lot that is dark and perhaps unpleasant to the ego, but once we turn around, face it, love it, embrace it, transcend and transmute, you will be so ecstatic about the levels of soul alchemy that you are creating for yourself in your own life. So I send you so many blessings and just so much empowerment and joy in your process, and in just wishing you the best time. So lots of love. Talk to you soon.